if the finish line is 10 meters further down the road, Demi might have come around her, but it was the bike throw. It was close, and neither of them knew. And they were standing there with each other. We saw one clip on socials. Demi was so sweet about it. Said something like,
way to go, Pucky, or something. Pucky. She called her Pucky.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Move podcast. Talking about stage 4 of the Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift. Mel, what? I know you're not from these countries, but where did we start and finish?
Stage 4, Valkenburg to Liège. Valkenburg to Liège.
It's starting to make more sense for her, right? We're getting into the French-speaking part of Belgium, Liège. So she's starting to come around. Now tomorrow, she'll and we'll get to tomorrow, but she gets she back home, so she'll be saying these names.
She's going to be comfortable.
Just like I say Dallas, and Allie says Petaluma, and Mari says Ventura,
Rosewood.
Yeah. Yeah. Big Island.
Grief, are you?
Say Big Island.
Big Island.
Oh.
See your face change right there?
Look at that.
I get happy.
Ooh, yes. You know what? Yeah, the mana there is good. The mana is great there. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about today's stage when, Puck Pieterse was not pucking around, right? First road win of her career. She's a fantastic bike racer. We'll talk a lot about that. I thought it was exciting, fun stage. But before we do, today's show brought to you by Roka. Rob and his crew down there in our hometown of Austin, Texas. They just changed the game. And I can't believe it took me 4 days to start talking about this. Demi Vollering, like Rob and everybody at Roka, I want a pair of those yellow Rokas with the gold lens. You know what I'm saying?
They're pretty good looking.
Oh, man. I mean, I know. And you know what? You can give me a pair of the yellow ones. You can put a little asterisk on the side. That's okay with me. All right. I want the yellow Rokas.
Okay. All right. Duly noted.
That'll be fitting.
They have completely changed the game. In fact, I'll take yellow readers. Yellow readers in 2.0, please, to the Roka crew. They have, so whether it's the riding glasses or any kind of sport glass, the chillin' casual glasses, the prescription reading glasses, they're the best optics out there. Scratch resistant, fog resistant, totally changed the game. And also slip resistant. So if you're like me and you sweat like crazy, it's nice when they don't fall off your face. The Move listeners get 20% off. Just go to Roka, that's ROKA.com. Enter the code THEMOVE at checkout. That's Roka.com. The code is THEMOVE. And I would like those yellow Demi Vollering.
Those would look good on you.
They would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think they would look nice.
Boy.
You just wanted to beat George with his gold ones,
Dear Roka, George can have the gold ones. I'm not got no bling. I do not bling.
The yellow would make a statement.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Also today brought to you by Honey Stinger. I've been involved with Stinger since 2008. I remember when I first linked up with them, they didn't even have the waffle. They had a great assortment of bars and chews and gels. And I spent my whole career racing with Stroop waffles in Europe. And I would just send the Swan Years down. This is a true story, right? And so I would send the Swan Years down to the grocery store, like the local. We passed the Del Haza today on the race. Remember those janky grocery stores in Belgium and Holland? I said, just go down there and buy me these Stroop waffles. I would race on Stroop waffles. So I come back and I sync up with Stinger. I said, we need to make a Stroop waffle. Like your brand is Honey Stinger. Let's make waffles. And they did. And it crushed.
Great idea.
And it crushed for them. I just did Leadville last weekend. It took me 10 and a half hours. Did it with my buddy Mike Freeze. I was fueling up hard on the Stroop waffles. And I never felt anything. Nope. It was a long day. We got through it, but I felt great. I think it's the ultimate training and race food. So check them out. They're totally crushing. Head on over to honeystinger.com/themove. Check out all their products, including my favorite, the Stroop waffle. Our listeners get 25% off your first order over at honeystinger.com. Use the code THEMOVE. honeystinger.com. Yeah. Puck Pieterse.
Yeah.
I mean, I love this. Well, here's what I think is you see a lot of this, not just in the women's field, but also the men's field, this crossover. In the old days,
Didn't happen.
Nobody crossed over. This idea of racing at the highest level in cyclocross, racing the highest level in mountain bike. She got 4th at the Olympics in the mountain bike race with a flat tire.
Mm-hmm.
And now to win her first ever road stage in the Tour de France, Femmes avec Zwift. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Not pucking around.
Wait, what'd you say? What the puck?
This is, and I do occasionally, I thank you, Puck. I occasionally get some grief for the language that I use. And this is great. More riders need to have, names like that where I can just sort of kind of say things. Y'all know what I mean.
It's true.
But
the swear jar has gone away.
The G-rated show.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that I think you're right about, the people coming into it and being able to cross over to different sports is really interesting. And I think in the U.S. we're seeing a lot of that because of the NICA, all the high school mountain bike racing. So you're starting to see kids who are coming into the sport when they're young and are getting really good skills on their bikes. And then it crosses over when they figure out they try out the road racing, they try out the cyclocross. It's awesome. And
you get a stage like today, which is wet and technical. And I mean, who knows? You don't know if it's been raining for days in advance or hadn't rained in weeks. Right. And so you get a day like that where all of a sudden it rains. Well, if Puck is able to navigate a professional mountain bike race, she's seeing a stage like this with the twists and the turns and the rain. She's like, yeah, I got this. Like the technical skills and the bike handling skills are just on point.
And one of her points before the tour was that she was saying how she just needed to kind of fine tune her endurance riding. She had the high end from the mountain bike racing, and then she just needed to get in a block of a little bit longer races, but training to get her ready for the tour. And I mean, obviously it's paying off.
Keep in mind, pro mountain bike races are 60 to 90 minutes. They are full gas. Yeah. Like if you ever want to be entertained, just watch the start of a World Cup race.
So hard.
Yeah.
Like I see that. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm out on that. Like it's a full sprint. Yeah. And then you got to start the race. Like,
Well, Puck, this is also her first stage race she's ever done.
I couldn't believe when they said that.
So, I mean, she's kind of just said too, she wanted to go as well as she could while she still has fresh legs, knowing that she might fatigue later, throughout the multiple days because she's never done this. But she is a multi-time world champion in U23 cyclocross as well. She's still only 22. She made the step last year in 2023 to not race U23 and to race elite because she wanted to qualify for Paris Olympics. And she was the number ranked overall mountain bike World Cup racer in 2023. So most UCI points of any other rider.
22 years old.
Yeah. And that point she was 21.
Yeah.
But I thought one of her coolest quotes after the race was that I live for this, I mean, that's awesome.
And it was close.
Yeah.
She had to live a little longer because they didn't know. It was hard to tell. The coverage took a minute to show us the photo finish, but they didn't know. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things too, where, cause Demi was coming, right? But they put the finish line where they put the finish line. Yeah. Right. And that's just the end of the story. If the finish line is 10 meters further down the road, Demi might have come around her, but it was the bike throw. It was close, and neither of them knew. And they were standing there with each other. We saw one clip on socials. Demi was so sweet about it. Said something like,
way to go, Pucky, or something. Pucky. She called her Pucky.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. She was really proud of her, and which is another fact. This is the 4th stage of the tour and the 4th Dutch rider to win. Woo! Talk about some strong Dutchies there.
Yeah. I say it a lot when I talk about the men's races. Like it just happens within countries. Countries are competitive, even inside. It just elevates everybody, right? We've seen it now with a country like Denmark. We saw it in my day with the Americans here. I mean, it's just there's this. Even if you're friendly, you're kind of looking over there going, "Well, I want a piece of that," right? Like I don't want.
Also, you've been training with them and you feel like you can do better than them. So when you see somebody doing well, you think you should be there too. And so it definitely lifts things. And there's always that little inner team kind of, or inner country kind of rivalry stuff.
And y'all know this. I'm a huge Niewiadoma fan. I don't know why. I just root for her.
Well, she's so nice.
She seems so nice. I've always had this, connection. This is going to sound weird. I don't think I've ever said this, but I've had this.
Oh dear.
I know.
We're worried here. He's going to spill the tea.
No, I've always had this,
Oh, the
this
tea.
weird. I'm about to spill some tea. I'm not pucking around today. I had this, I've always had this affinity for Poland. I think it was probably from having Eddie B as my
the
original.
Polish mafia back in the day.
Yeah, there was so much Polish influence on American cycling when I was first coming on. So I'm always tracking the Polish riders, but as much as I like her, I'm not sure I agree with that move with maybe 700 meters to go. That's not a move that she needs to make. She doesn't have that sort of 1K power to get away. And as successful as she's been, you look at the list of her palmares, it's a lot of seconds and a lot of thirds. You make moves like that, you're going to get seconds and thirds, right? Whereas in her situation, she should have, maybe she doesn't win that sprint. Probably not, but may as well wait.
Yeah, I mean, she could have tried something different than what's expected and to see what would have happened.
Yeah, she did a great
And
lead
then
out.
lost time.
And
That was the main thing.
That's
She lost
the thing.
time.
She got gapped off as they started the sprint. I mean, we'll have to look at what this is sometimes this game is a matter of seconds. Like it's not, that's not worth it.
No.
Let's see here. What did they give her? No, they gave her same time.
Oh, wow.
Which is
Interesting.
impressive.
That's surprising.
Yeah, that is surprising.
That's
actually.
surprising because the commissars,
There was a gap.
when there's a gap, they are more than happy to dock you time. They
But I
gave
feel
her
like
same
recently they're not doing it as much. I mean, it used to just be like if there was a bike length, you would get a time gap, and I feel like it's getting more and more.
I don't disagree with that though. I mean, they were all in the race together.
Yeah.
I mean, she contested the sprint. She launched her move. They got up the road together. I'm not mad at that.
It's good for her. You have a connection. Now she lost a little. She didn't lose time today.
No.
Yeah.
You could be happy about that.
Chloe Dygert crashes again. Now we didn't see it. I think we're kind of going off what the coverage said. They thought they saw a little bit of road rash, and they caught her when she had apparently gotten up. And I thought she was going to crash again. Like that move where she almost goes off the road.
close.
I'm like, and by the way, like her most famous crash is when she also sort of ran out of road and went off the side. I'm watching this going, is this a thing? Like, and again, I'm a huge fan. Like I love Chloe Dygert, but I'm like, all right, we got to stop. We got to stay on the bike, girl.
Well, yeah, and we don't really know how that crash happened because she was
They
with
didn't
her. She was with her teammate who also clearly had crashed too. It looked like her elbow was also bleeding, so maybe they went somehow, hit wheels and went down together or something like that. But yeah, it's really hard to watch her crashing over and over again. And we were talking about it earlier. I think one of the things is that she hasn't spent as much time racing in the Peloton, and you need to do that. It's one part of your training almost. You got to know how to race your bike in the group just as much as you do have to focus on your training. And because when you see such a talent, it's
you got to stay
frustrating to see like the accidents all the time. Yeah,
She definitely she kept fighting and come back and stuff like that. But I know from a rider that has crashed a lot myself and had some really traumatic ones.
I want to bring it up.
But it's hard on your confidence. So, I mean, how does that make you feel mental outlook as a rider? It's just, you just think, oh no, here it's going to come again. And our girl Cecile crashed today too.
Well, I mean, one of the things when you're starting, racing your bike and you're getting to that level is that you notice people who are newer in the sport crash more often. People who are, have been in it longer. Yeah, you get in crashes that you can't avoid or something.
Of course.
But somehow you have more of an instinct as to when something's going to become dangerous.
Right.
And that's an important part of why you need to be racing in those fields for as long as you can. Because it's just as important, your training is the actual, the fitness part of it.
Yeah, honing. It's like a spidey sense. It's and also just even if just where you position yourself, that you're just minimizing your chances.
Minimizing chances, making sure you're going into things as rested as you can, not wasting any energy. Those are all things that pay off. And, that's, I think one of the problems that we've had here in the States with our stuff is that the women haven't had that experience for as long. So we don't have people who've been racing since they were juniors with the same juniors in the field and know everyone so well. So.
Now, for anybody else that watched the stage, I hope I'm not the only person that was confused. If you look at fourth, right? Kimberly PNR. I mean, I said to y'all when you got to the house, I was like, who won the world championships last year? And honestly, if you watch the race, you have to be asking this question, because I'm like, I don't think that's the world champion, but somehow, some way, and Kimberly is from Mauritius, which we all, like I have to look up everywhere, right?
You actually knew where that was.
Well, you're right, I did, but I wanted to make you feel better because you did not know. Anyways, it's like in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, you too. No,
it's 1,100 nautical miles off the southeastern coast of East Africa, so even east of Madagascar.
But her national champion, and she's the national champion, the jersey is a complete replica of the rainbow jersey. Yeah. I was so confused.
It is the flag of the country.
I understand, but it's still confusing.
I was impressed, though, you knew where this island was, because you still are confused on Uzbekistan.
It turns out you start talking about places with, white sand and blue water and nice resorts. I probably know where they are. Not as much as George, but I tend to know those places. But I was confused.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that they actually let that jersey, pass, because the team is responsible for making the jersey and the UCI has to approve them. And that really does look almost exactly like a world champion jersey. Yeah, and so normally you would do something that's a little bit unusual with it. Maybe you would have it in a swirl, or you would do something different where it doesn't exactly mirror the world champion jersey.
Yeah.
Also, if you're watching, Demi talked about today. This is the day that she had targeted because it was a difficult day. It's probably roads she knows very well, but also it's a preview of something to come. Right, these last 3 days, 2-3 days that are in the mountains. Like today had to give us some indication of who's going to be there in the front, and if it did, well, she's better sleep real well tonight because she looked great. I mean, maybe Niewiadoma can hang for a while, but if this is a preview of the overall GC,
she's got to be feeling pretty good.
She got to feel. I mean, after yesterday, then today, and then truly the hardest days coming up,
and all those little climbs the climbs going into it, she just looked so comfortable, and everyone else was attacking. And
so we were just looking at the support of domestiques in the big climbs with Demi, and looking like it's only Nima Fisher-Black was able to make that second group of climbers. So
people have flagged that as a potential.
Yeah,
potential weakness of if Demi has anything that she could get exposed on, it's that.
And Phoenix Iconic
They look good.
Really good.
They did look really good.
They looked really good.
And so to show how much Demi used her teammates today, SD Worx Pro Time dropped from first in Team GC to 9th. Mm-hmm. So just showing that she did go through a lot of teammates today.
That could make it interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be very interesting. I had a question for you. So
I don't like the way this is going. I'm not down with this.
So Johan asked me to ask you a question about the Monto. How do you?
Yeah, that one.
He said,
okay,
do you remember being dropped by him on that climb in 95? He says he dropped your ass.
Dropped my ass, yeah. He likes to tell that story. And in fact, it is a true story. I don't even. Yeah. I don't ever remember the names of these things.
Yeah,
I just don't.
You just remember him dropping you.
I do. Look, he rode great. He was the only guy that was strong enough to stay with Miguel Indurain that day. If I did have to throw it back on Johan, he completely wheel sucked. He wheel sucked Big Mig all the way to the finish line.
And it would be a good wheel.
And then it's a good wheel. I mean, he was just motor pacing off Miguel Indurain, and then beat him in the sprint. But the best part of the story is Johan took the yellow jersey that day after that stage. But right after he beat Indurain in the sprint, Big Mig came by him and put his hand on his back and he said, "Don't worry, I'll be in yellow tomorrow." Because the next day was a time trial.
Oh, God.
And he knew he was going to win by 5 minutes. He's like, it'll be mine tomorrow. Like, here's a guy who never, that's not a thing that Indurain would ever say. I mean, Indurain was like, very quiet, was the ultimate gentleman, but he just said, "Don't worry, I'll be mine tomorrow." I'm like, all right, Mick. All right. You got a little trash talk in you.
Yeah.
I love that. A little bit of business before we get to talking about tomorrow, because tomorrow's interesting also. And this is also a fun one to talk about because later in the show, we have a guest from AG1. Dr. Jeremy Townsend going to be here and tell us all about it. Because this product has, for something, by the way, started in 2010. Well, it's 14 years ago, but this is now a product this is sort of synonymous with how you start your day, I think, right? It's everybody in the world knows AG1. And it is the way I start my day. I'm a creature of habit. Like I get up, I do the same things every day. I eat the same things. I take the same things. And I'm also a creature of habit when I'm just really crappy when it comes to all the stuff my mom told me to do when I was a kid, right?
Gotta eat those vegetables.
Yeah, I've just not been, and I love hacks. And so AG1 has been my morning routine for years now. And I feel like it's made a real difference for me.
I love the travel packs. It definitely just gets you have vegetables when you're on the road.
I love it when you talk in the mic too.
Oh,
good.
Sorry. My bad.
That's why we have these ear things in, so you can hear. But check this out. It is a foundational nutritional supplement that delivers daily nutrients. And check this. This is important. Gut health support. And Dr. Jeremy will tell us a little bit about that because there's actually scientific evidence of what it does for the gut health. I think, and I'm going down a rabbit hole a little bit here, I think the gut is sort of the next frontier. It's a place we've yet to totally understand, and we've figured out a lot of stuff. I think the gut is a place that we go next. I think it's going to revolutionize health and healthcare and how we affect our daily lives. So I love to say it, and I mean it. It is about taking control of your health and taking charge of your health. It's one product I trust with my whole body health. It's AG1. That's why I've partnered with them for so long. It's easy, satisfying. Start your day every day with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2. I also have questions about that. The 3K2, what's up with that? And 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Head on over to drinkag1.com/themove. That's drinkag1.com/themove. And again, we'll have Dr. Jeremy Townsend on after we talk about tomorrow's stage. Allie, what else are we doing? I think we're wahooing right now, right?
Wahoo! This one's really fun for me to talk about. Wahoo bike computers are proven in the Peloton. We see them on so many teams. Definitely just saw Kristen Faulkner's Wahoo Bolt. It looked like getting all blinged up in gold. I actually have a gold Wahoo.
I saw it's an Instagram clip of the guy putting the gold.
On the new heart rate
strap.
Yep.
That was blingy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
it's
is
on there. It's on her. I think she put it on her Instagram.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But you can see them all over the Peloton on the GPS computers. I'm a big fan of the Roam for mapping, and I use it a lot in gravel racing. And I get lost pretty easily. And also, I've been on speed plate pedals since 2009. So
got me.
Really trust those pedals. So we're really proud that Wahoo's sponsoring the show. Wahoo's cycling products are trusted by the Pro Peloton, as we can see. We see Wahoo's Element Bolt GPS bike computer on the handlebars of World Tour teams. But now you guys can save 20% on select full price products by using the coupon code THEMOVE2024 at checkout. So go to wahoofitness.com/TheMove and enter the MOVE 2024 to save 20%.
Awesome. I never understood that, these gravel races. Like in the old days, right? In our day, Mari,
the old days.
Right? Yeah, the old days. I don't care what you were doing, a triathlon, a running race, a bike race or bike ride. The roads were marked. They're like, go left, go right, go straight. What's wrong with that? These gravel things, they're just like, no. We're not going to mark the course.
No course markings. No. Choose your own adventure, but don't go off course. But Wahoo helps you stay on course.
But I agree. But
at least when I'm on my bike, I'm not saying I'm staying on course.
Just mark the course?
No.
Wouldn't make sense.
Okay. All right.
The spirit of gravel, Lance. The spirit of gravel.
I love gravel. I do. I hate because I hate cars. As much as I hate cars, I love gravel. It's the same. No cars.
I'm going to have to bring you to Gravel Locos next year in Hyco, Texas.
You keep giving me grief about that.
You think the race is too long?
Yeah, she sends me this link and I was like, excuse me. Did it say 150 miles?
Yeah, it's 150 miles.
You do realize I like go to the gym and ride my bike like 3 days a month. I'm not signing up for a 150 mile race that I might get lost at. Legit.
Well, if you brought your Wahoo GPS computer, you would not get lost.
I know. Well, let's look at tomorrow's stage because it's another lumpy one. As we said at the top of the show, finally back in France, because this is the Tour de France Femmes of X Swift.
We are finally in France.
I know. This is Mel. You're gonna be real happy.
Stage 5 in France, official.
It's lumpy. Look at that. I mean, I think it's doesn't show it on here. It's over 2,000 meters of total climbing. Now, it may not look like it when you just because there's not any Cat 2s or Cat 1s, but this day's never flat. This is a tough, challenging day. Slightly uphill at the finish, and on the longer side, right? 152K. Time bonus at the finish or near the finish?
Near the finish, 15K to go on the last climb, 1.7 kilometers, averaging 6%. But there is a bonus seconds available, 2K after the top of that climb.
I think it'll be interesting to see how SD Worx tries to control this.
I mean, Weebus has to. This is it.
This is it.
This is her last shot. Is this? But is that? You see that profile and the amount of climbing just over the course of the day. Is that something? And the slightly uphill finish. Yeah. Now, I don't know a ton about this stuff, but if you do look at the run-in, like I would think this suits her. Look
Spicy.
Okay. Now, I don't make the rules, but anytime I see look at the hazard signs.
Point.
I mean, how many?
There's a lot of red in there.
If you're watching the show, there is a lot of hazard signs here between sharp corners, roundabouts, fast descents. I'm seeing at least a dozen hazard signs there. So perhaps that suits her better, I would think.
Looks like a technical run-in. This would be a huge opportunity for Lorena. But I also think Voss with this uphill kick. But that could be our 5th Dutch woman winning the 5th stage. Either one, both Dutch. Also Charlotte, Dutch. But it could be a late attack. Maybe, something from like a Chloe or a Faulkner, with the technical, you could do a high power finish. Yeah. Kind of like what Niewiadoma tried today.
I'd love to see Chloe do it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it is her last chance. And one where she was probably thinking a week ago, thinking that's going to be my 3rd stage win.
Yeah. She's got to be super motivated, that's for sure. And we've seen her get over climbs before. I mean, she's gotten a lot better at it in the last couple of years. So this is her shot.
Yeah.
Weather's better.
Weather's better.
Weather
no
is
rain.
Improving.
I don't think a breakaway
Dutchies
will
are
go.
probably wishing it was raining.
They probably are. Yeah, it'll be another exciting day tomorrow. We did want to talk about just Phoenix to Quinnick, and that they looked pretty strong today. So in that split over that last climb, not only did you have Puck there, but you had Paulina Ruyekers, who she's gotten like 5th at Flesh Valone, and she's a multi-time beach racing champion, national beach racing champion. Also, she's
like
Dutch.
In Holland.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do that.
What is beach racing?
Yeah. No, well, like when we were looking the other day when it finished in the Hague, the Hague. Remember the beach? We were kind of joking about. We were joking about. I said that looks like Galveston. The beach is so deep, and like in Galveston, for all you other, dub T Texans out there, like we just drive up on that thing. Like, well, let's back it up right here. This is a good place to stay. But that's like that. So those big wide beaches, they race on those.
Cars or
no bicycles?
Bikes.
Oh, I'm like, wait a second.
Just through straight sand.
And there's probably,
really?
Probably most of those or a lot of that beach, if you're, a little bit more inland, is pretty, it's not soft sand. You're riding on sand, but it's not like riding what you're thinking of. Yeah. Right. It's not Big Island beaches.
Mari heard
it's a little more hard.
She went to Kona.
It's a little more hard packed, but they do.
I get the idea.
But by the way, I didn't know that was a thing.
I've never heard of it.
National beach racing champion multiple times. I'm just telling you, it's a thing.
Allie, now this is why we have you here.
But Phoenix looked good today for being one of the smaller teams, having 2 riders make the ultimate split. She did end up dropping back to that second group, but I think things
they did look good.
How's the Uzbeks doing?
We had another one drop out.
Okay, every day we got a check in with the Uzbeki team. So somebody, what? I mean, this is look. You wanted it in the bike race. Do you want to be in the bike race and not get talked about? Hold on. How's the Uzbeks doing? Let me pull this up here. Hold on.
I think we're down to 3. Still in the race.
3? No, I don't know about that.
Oh.
Come on, Stan. Yeah, we had actually quite a few DNSs. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're down to 1 or 2 riders.
I think it's 2.
Probably.
Uzbekistan, you know what Uzbekistan needs? They need the equivalent of NICA.
They do.
NICA, Uzbekistan. I'm
NICA's great.
On a serious
they are
note,
awesome.
and I was just telling Dr. Townsend, who's about to come on here, I'm going to be in Nashville in a couple weeks riding with a NICA program there. I remember when NICA started, I thought, I don't know, like, yeah, you're going to get high school kids to join a team and to train together and race. They're going to have a series. Did they really think they can pull this off? Well, guess what?
Yeah.
They did.
And yes,
I mean, and I'm speaking dead serious. Like this is wildly impressive, and it's what we need.
Yeah, and one of the cool things they did when they started it was every team had to have women on it too, or girls on it, and which I thought was really awesome that they did it, because now we're getting all kinds of young girls on bikes and out there and riding and racing, and there's always going to be the ones who are looking for that next step to race kind of the national level stuff, like USA Cycling.
It's incredible development.
Yeah.
I work a lot with NICA and my local NorCal Cycling High School League, and but Haley Batten came out of that league, and she's a silver medalist in the Olympics in mountain biking. So so we're looking at just developing riders, and then also they do work a lot on the equality and inclusion. So
and who she
my
got
bandanas go to NICA.
Who got gold? Who won the mountain bike race?
Pauline.
Another crossover athlete.
That'd be cool to talk to her one day.
I'm a big fan of Pauline.
Oh, I'm A1 fan. We should get her on the show one day.
We might need to.
Idea.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a little break here, reset, and then have Dr. Jeremy Townsend on tell us all about taking control of our health. I mean, it's not a throwaway. It's real stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. All right, everybody, we're back with Dr. Jeremy Townsend from AG1. Doc, just before we jump into AG1, just tell us, I love this space, right? And I can see homeboy hasn't skipped many days in the gym. He's been working out, but just your background, how you came, involved with AG1 or your medical background, anything.
Yeah, so my background is in exercise physiology, and I really got interested in dietary supplementation and nutrients as being an athlete, in presence of world-class athletes. So I always say athlete, meaning that I had some God-given talent, but I was always trying to maximize my talent. So how could I get to the next level? So I played a little bit of college football, and when I was in college, I started learning about nutrition, strength and conditioning, training, and then I just realized that there's a lot about nutrition that we are told that we just assume, right? And so I had all these questions that my professors were like, "Oh, that's a great answer. That's a great question," but no one really knows the answer to that. So that kind of was my foray into scientific research. So I got my PhD in sport nutrition and exercise physiology. Had my own lab for a while in Nashville, Tennessee at Lipscomb University. Did a lot of research on dietary supplements, various nutrient interventions. I got really into probiotics. I heard you mention, the gut is like the next frontier.
Yeah, I think so.
I kind of see that coming a number of years ago, and that's where a lot of my research was really focused on. And then this job came open at AG1. I really love the brand and their approach to nutrition and the way that they position their product as something that's for everybody, and it's kind of nutritional insurance for a lot of us who don't get all the nutrients that we're supposed to get in our diet. So made that transition a couple of years ago, and it's been a really exciting time to see AG1 continue to grow, but also us really kind of dial into the research and the science behind the product. It was always a science-backed product, but now we're really heavily into clinical trials and other research studies to demonstrate the benefits in people. So that's kind of my journey to AG1. So yeah, thanks for having me.
One of the coolest things about AG1 is I'm very close with Pieterse. And so he lives in Austin near me, and we work out together and chat, every few days. And one time I said, what supplement should I be taking? There's so much. And all of us have been at this for so long. Like, how many times has somebody come along with something, you have to take this.
Right.
Right. So, but I one day I called Dr. Tia and I was like, what supplement should I be taking? He legitimately said to me, he said, the only thing you need to do is drink AG1.
Wow.
And I was like, well, that's perfect, because I'm already doing that. So I don't have to add anything else. But I mean, this was unsolicited. This was just a personal, and I don't think I'm crossing any kind of line here. There was just a personal, friendly conversation. And that was his answer.
Yeah. And I think that one thing that's great about our product is that there's a lot of people out there who really try to eat healthy. Maybe they do eat healthy, but we're creatures of habit. We tend to gravitate towards certain foods. Like we might like our salad, but we might not eat fruit. We might like certain vegetables, but we kind of neglect some other types of nutrients there. So really AG1 is a comprehensive formula that really gives you a lot of diverse nutrients to support your whole body health and also really support your gut health. And so we kind of call that foundational nutrition because it's like that nutritional insurance that allows you to meet your nutritional goals. But then also the gut allows for those nutrients to be utilized and available for your brain, for your muscle, for your bone. So it's like the gateway to the rest of the body. So we support the gut and we provide those nutrients that can then provide whole body health.
I'm telling you, the gut, this is the next, I don't know, Doc, about you, but I mean, and I do, a lot of people, we talked about the gut and the microbiome and you can do the stool samples, which nobody loves, by the way.
We're doing it.
But the general consensus is we're close, but not totally. This is, I think, once we figure this out, I want to be first in line for sure. And you know, you said it, right? Not just the gut or the body, but the brain and all the things associated with it. One of the things I've also loved over the years is just how many times AG1 has iterated or has tweaked the formulation just because something came along, something was better, they could perfect it even more. I mean, I think the last count I saw was like 75 different iterations of it just to constantly keep getting it right.
Yeah, we have right now we're at iteration 52 with 53 we're working on right now. Yeah, it's still a lot. And that's one thing I've really admired about the company, but also about Chris, our founder, and that he's always looking for the most recent scientific research to support our product. So over the years, he's made changes based off of developing science because science doesn't change the same. Science doesn't stay the same. Once you write a textbook on something, science has changed and the new knowledge is out there. So he's removed fiber over the years. He's added adaptogen blends, swapped out other ingredients to make sure that our product is on the cutting edge of science and provides the best outcome for our users. So really admire that. And we're continuing that process in our innovation pipeline to always try to get the best product out there for our customers.
And I got these ladies hooked on it.
Man, I love it. The travel packs are amazing. And I'm also excited to see those boxes that just arrived more.
Yeah. A lot of people love our travel packs and you can actually go in and either choose one of these pouches or some people just choose travel packs only because they're on the go so often, or they just like to throw it in their gym bag. So it's really nice to have both options. I like the travel packs as well. But it really is able to fit your routine, whatever works for you.
Makes it easy.
Yeah.
We travel a lot.
We travel a lot. And I'm going to tell you, gravel racing, it's a lot in the Midwest. We love that Midwest gravel.
Oh.
So Blaze and my husband and I travel with those AG1 to make sure we're getting some vegetables on the road.
I was going to say, is that a knock on the culinary options in the Midwest of this country?
Yeah, I'm from Illinois, so it kind of hurts.
French fries and ribeye.
Your vegetables, yeah. That's
We
right.
have corn at least. So.
And also in so many athletes listen to this show that probably their biggest concern is just the sourcing and making sure that the product is totally, I mean, we've seen how many times have we seen over the years where one batch is getting mixed with another batch and all of a sudden you didn't want that batch and you're a professional athlete and you go get tested and it can be a bad outcome, right? I think the sourcing here is we're talking about just to ensure that athletes know what they're getting.
Yeah. And at AG1, we call it the AG1 standard, is that there is like a baseline industry-wide standard of testing your product. And we take that just to the next level. So AG1's tested for over 950 contaminants. That's like herbicides, pesticides, heavy metals, toxins. So you know that what you're getting isn't contaminated with something else. But we're also NSF certified for sport, which is the most rigorous quality testing, but also label claim testing to make sure that what's on our label is actually, in the product, as well as being tested for a lot of banned substances. So make sure that what you're taking, you have a lot of peace of mind at night that we're not taking anything that's contaminated with some sort of banned substance. So most supplements only test for 10. We test for over 950 contaminants.
Wow.
So we take it just to the next level.
That's amazing. This other one here, going back to the gut for a second, I saw this in the notes. In the double-blind randomized placebo-controlled trial, AG1 led to a 2.9 times increase of healthy bacteria in the gut.
There's your gut health right there.
I know.
This is making you really excited. You might do a stool sample.
Oh God, Allie.
No, I have. No, this is a funny story. I did. This is no shit.
Yep.
Literally, this is. We're getting off.
Or is
topic.
it shit?
No, this is. Look. I'm not pucking around here. This is not a joke. And we are getting off topic. I did one of these stool samples once. You laugh,
Yep.
right?
You're the one that brought it
wasn't
up.
funny when I get to the end of the story. So I did one, which is not pleasant. And I sent it in and I was ready. I was like, tell me everything. I want to know everything. I think in the first time in the history of the world, they lost my stool sample. I'm not kidding. You can't make it up.
That's funny.
They were
I wonder where
legit
it
like some guy
Somebody has your
is
stool
running
sample.
around.
They're auctioning it off
There's a lot
somewhere.
of companies out there who, will market these stool sampling kits, right?
I mean, that's you cannot make it up. That's a true story. Yeah. And I never did another one. I was like, I don't feel good about this.
Well, we have a number of research studies ongoing, and we have that one that's been published, or it's actually about a few days away from being published.
Good.
So we have about 5 research studies on our finished product, and that one's like literally checking my email every day. It's like inches away from being published. And we are looking at a lot of stool samples, not only looking at, when you give AG1, how many healthy bacteria are increased in your gut, but now we're starting to look at like those bacteria then also produce other healthy metabolites or products that have other health benefits. So now we're taking it further and saying not just who's there, but like what are they doing inside your body to really optimize your health. And so we're kind of really on the cutting edge of understanding how the gut microbiome really influences
Right.
body health as well with AG1. So
And we talk about it a lot. I mean, and as we state when we talk about you guys, like start the day with AG1.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any merit in finishing your day, for example, with AG or at lunch, or is there? I mean, obviously, I don't want you to try to tell us that there's too much AG1 you could consume, but is there some model where you start your morning and end your day with it?
Really, we recommend that you take one dose first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, one that allows for these nutrients to be best absorbed in your body. But also, at least what I found personally and what we hear from other customers is that when you make a really good choice for your health first thing in the morning, often it compounds and leads to other healthy choices throughout the day. Mm-hmm. So if you forget to take your AG1 in the morning, just take it at some point. But taking it first thing really sets you up for often better health choices throughout the day, whether you feel more motivated to get in the gym, you feel more relaxed, you feel better choices as far as food later on. It's really something that just empowers you as a springboard for your overall health.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing I love, because I've been chronically low in vitamin D. And I think so many people are shocked that their vitamin D is that low. And I think the other thing that's even more surprising to them is they can't get it up. And so that sounded weird. Sometimes things, folks, we have all these other hacks that they push on you for those issues, vitamin D. But no, sometimes stuff just comes out. But it really changed. I'm religious about the D3K2. And my vitamin D levels have risen since I started it. And it's so weird because I'm in the sun all the time. I'm like, why am I deficient in vitamin D? And just the stuff that you guys sent has changed that.
Yeah. A lot of our population, whether you're active, eat healthy, whatever, you may not be clinically deficient in vitamin D, but you're definitely suboptimal. And so one thing I also admire about Chris, our founder, is that he decided, hey, we could put vitamin D in our product and maybe one day we will. But the most effective way to increase your vitamin D levels is to provide it in a liquid form. And so he decided to put it in drops because that's really what's going to help people the most. Yeah. And based on what your vitamin D levels are, you may need a little bit more than I do, or actually I probably need more because my skin's darker and I don't absorb as much from the sun. So that dropper, those who need more can take a little bit more to reach those optimal levels. But yeah, especially in the past decade and a half, we found out with athletes, especially, they're chronically low in vitamin D. And when you correct that, you have immune benefits. You actually see strength and power benefits. It's really something that's kind of like this unspoken deficiency that we have in our diet.
Awesome. Well, Doc, thanks for coming on. This is great.
Thanks for having me.
AG. We talk about a lot of stuff on here. We only talk about stuff that we actually love and we believe in, which is and AG1's one of them. But I get a lot of feedback from folks like, I started my AG1 and people love it. And that's I always love hearing those stories kind of come back around, and just confirms that we got great partners like you guys. So maybe I'll see you in Nashville. We'll hit up the gym or do something.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll find you on your bike ride.
He might beat you in the gym, just to let you know.
I'm leaving the set right now to go upstairs and go to the gym. I haven't done anything since Leadville.
You've been complaining about your back.
I did play golf, but which is also isn't good for the back. But it's funny, like if I do a couple of days without working out, it's just like I don't feel right. Like I'm going, so I'm
Getting
I'm
back
eager.
at it.
Yeah, I was sore after Leadville. That one kicked my ass.
Yeah, we tried your erg thing, last night. Blaze says you marked. He wants to see if he can beat you.
What erg thing?
Like you do the erg things, like you do.
The acid bath?
Yeah.
You're telling me Blaze tried an acid bath? Have you ever tried an acid bath?
I have not. No.
I don't even know what an acid bath is.
So the acid bath, and we're really getting off topic, and then we'll
That's
wrap
fine.
the show.
This is great.
So the acid bath, which I would not want to do one here at altitude. We're at 8,000 feet here. It'd be terrible. I like to do them in Austin where we're 500 feet. So the acid bath is all with Concept 2 equipment. So you do 500 meters ski erg, 500 meters row erg, 1,000 meters bike erg.
Okay.
And the transition times, all of that counts. And you go as fast as you can. And I think my best time's like 5:15 or 5:16, maybe a little lower. I can't remember, but it's awful.
Oh yeah. It's like the old concept of like lactate stacking back in the day.
It is awful.
Can you do it in any order, or do you have to do it specific?
That's a great, I think there's sort of a general, I mean, if you go on Concept 2's website, they have people rank themselves and they post the times. I'm pretty sure everybody goes ski, row, bike. But it lives up to its name. I mean, it is an acid bath.
I don't think I did it right last night. I was singing like row your boat when I was on the erg, so I don't think I was going hard enough.
Yeah.
I'll leave the acid baths to you guys.
All right, Doc. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You guys keep up the great work. Keep us posted too on the study you said is days away.
Yeah.
That's people love that stuff.
Yeah. We're excited. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Thanks, y'all. All right, everybody. We'll be back for tomorrow, stage 5, when the Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift finally gets back to France.
Bonjour.
And, thanks for tuning in, and be sure to subscribe anywhere you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, et cetera, et cetera. Looking forward to it. In 3, 2, 1.
Bye. You didn't even try that time.
I didn't try the first one.